Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Redmen TV and your latest edition of Transfer Insight. My name is Dan Clubb. I will be your host as ever, and I am joined for this one by Italian football journalist Daniele Fisichella. Daniele, how are you doing,
Ciao.
mate? You good?
Hi, Dan. I'm all right. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. My pleasure. Really appreciate you joining us. We're here to talk about a compatriot of yours, central defender, currently at Bologna, Riccardo Calafiori. He's come on to I think it's fair to say he's come onto the news agenda in recent weeks after a very successful season at Bologna. James Horncastle, a man who knows Serie A like the back of his hand, an absolute aficionado of Italian football, has told The Athletic that Liverpool, Newcastle, Brighton and West Ham are among the clubs who have inquired about Calafiori in recent times. First and foremost, what do you make of those links? And I guess have you been surprised by the fact that his name is being spoken about in such circles, because still only 22, only really emerged in what feels like the past sort of 12 months. Does it shock you that Liverpool are being linked and other clubs as well?
No, it doesn't shock me because he's been one of the best defenders in Serie A, perhaps the biggest revelation of this season. Calafiori being signed by Bologna last summer only for 4 million from Basel, but being transformed from a left back into a progressive centre back. Let me make this comparison. Is the Italy's John Stones, somebody that was born perhaps as a wide player with good technical ability, happy to step into midfield, which is done a lot under Thiago Motta at Bologna. Bologna have conquered qualification to the Champions League, which is historical. I don't know whether they want to cash in into this, also because another star player, Joshua Zirkzee, has been linked with moves to Milan or maybe abroad. But obviously, Calafiori is probably the jewel in the crown of Bologna. It is a player that made his debut 4 years ago at Roma under Jose Mourinho, then had some issues with the Portuguese manager, but also some physical issues. He broke his cruciate ligament, and he took a bit of time to recover. But, it is a player that has been on the big club's radar for a while. In 2019, he was included in the Guardian's next generation list of the 6 best young players in the world. And in 2021, in UEFA 52, follow for the future. So definitely somebody whose rise is not unexpected.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I guess really from sort of a Premier League point of view, he's just really coming into our thinking and our thought processing. A lot of that is due to, obviously, you mentioned Bologna's incredible season last time around in Serie A. Of course, Thiago Motta has since moved on to Juventus. We've obviously seen him first up close and personal in the Euros as well. He's been included in that Italy squad. He's got 3 caps to date. Unsurprisingly, Bologna want to keep him right now. In terms of his playing style and stuff like that, you mentioned the progressive element and the fact that he's very comfortable in possession. He has converted from left back into centre back. He still does a little bit of both by the looks of it. What would you say his biggest strengths were then in that case? Is it the fact that he can get the ball down and play? And often when we think about Italian defenders, you're so renowned with being defensively solid. You have that old school tough mentality. You win your headers, you make your tackles. Has he got a little bit of that as well?
He's got a bit of that as well. According to StatBomb, when I last looked around April, he was one of the best for interceptions and aerial duels won. And we saw it at the Euros in the debut against Albania. He was very commanding. Obviously, let's see the day recording tonight before the game against Spain, how he fares against Alvaro Morata. But certainly he's good defensive. But of course, he's the technical abilities which makes him stand out from the rest of the other players. He can step into midfield. He's very good at passing the ball and also has got a good mobility, can run well, and he can read the game very well. I think the fact that he was born as a left fullback or sometimes even a left wing back gives them the more of tactical awareness, way to read the game, and he can adapt. And he left Italy to go to Basel after some unfortunate spells, and I think that increased his tactical awareness, his knowledge of the game. He was obviously forced to play at a higher level. Basel is a team that competes for winning the league, so there was more responsibility for him, but he's a very determined player. He can adapt really well, and of course, having found a manager like Thiago Motta so happy to exploit his capabilities has definitely benefited. He's not the finished article. I think he still can improve. He's got some frailties, sometimes make some tactical mistakes. He's very aggressive sometimes. Sometimes he might rush a little bit, commit some risk, takes risk. Is it somebody who likes to step in and to take risks? Obviously, he'll have to iron that out. And if he moves to the Premier League, where the pace is more intense, he'll have less time on the ball. But definitely somebody Liverpool or whoever signs him can work on, but from a very strong base, I would say.
Okay, interesting. I was going to ask you if he had room for improvement, so you've answered that brilliantly there for me. Just in terms of his position then, obviously you mentioned already he's kind of converted from left back a little bit into more of a central defensive player. Where do you see his future? Is he a centre-back? Is that where he's best? Or can he still do a job out on the wide left? Because from Liverpool point of view, I don't know if you're aware of this, but profile-wise, we do want a left-footed centre-back and potentially somebody who can potentially go over to left-back as well. Do you see him still being capable of doing both?
This season, he hasn't played a left back for Bologna, so I don't know how keen he will be to revert in his role. And also for Italy, he's never played as a left back. He's been always a centre back. Whether he's a centre back in a back four, as Spalletti has done now at the Euros, or in Thiago Motta Bologna, or in a back three, that remains to be seen. Depends how Arne Slot wants to deploy him. But I think he gives you the flexibility. Whoever signs him, he gives you the opportunity to have an added midfielder. As I said, compare it to John Stones. Also, Bastoni from Italy is similar. Someone who likes to step into midfield, but with security. Stepping into midfield doesn't necessarily mean passing it 3 yards to the midfielder next to you. He can hit. Calafiori can hit a long pass, can hit a short pass, can combine, can create something meaningful. Because I know maybe there is a little bit of overthinking about progressive defender. It's also about what you do with the ball. And Calafiori in Serie A demonstrated was one of the highest in terms of progressive passes and touches in the opposition half. He also scored a couple of goals this season. Some of them are very good goals. He showed there his offensive prowess as well. So I think he's a centre back now, but he's definitely somebody who can help you build the play, can help you give you more options in a very difficult game these days. He's very predictable in a way. So if you have an extra man that can help you build the play, it can only benefit any team who signs him.